the ticket who you trust.
Booed on stage. His wife Heidi escorted out by security as Trump's running mate Mike Pence makes his pitch.
When Donald Trump becomes president of the United States of America, the change will be huge.
Now all eyes on Trump, opening up in an ABC News exclusive about Melania's speech and how he'll make his case to the nation tonight.
People are tired of what's going on. They're tired, they're sick and tired of what's going on.
We're live from Cleveland, inside the convention hall, as Trump prepares for the speech of his life.
A new shocking police shooting sparking outrage overnight. A 47-year-old therapist gunned down, his hands in the air, lying on his back. His patient with autism sitting nearby. What the victim is saying this morning from his hospital bed.
California to New Jersey on alert this morning for what could be the hottest temperatures in years, topping 100 degrees. The president issues a warning as the life-threatening heat wave moves east.
Live from Cleveland, Ohio, this is a special edition of Good Morning America. Your voice, your vote. The Republican National Convention.
And Good Morning America from Cleveland. We know it's hot for so many of you today, and boy, was it hot in this convention hall last night. The most electric moment yet of this convention.
Yeah, let's take a look at it. Former candidate Ted Cruz booed off stage after he refused to publicly endorse Donald Trump, and Trump watching it all from the wings.
Trump walked in those last few seconds of the Cruz speech after Cruz said, not vote for Donald Trump, but vote your conscience. He knew exactly what he was doing. He was actually trying to stare him down a little bit. And it wasn't his only dramatic entrance of the day. Check this out as well. He actually buzzed a Ted Cruz rally earlier in the day with his plane right there. He knew what he was doing there as well. It was all about the entrances this week for Donald Trump so far. We remember that smoke on Monday night.
Hard to forget.
Yeah. Tonight, the most important one. He's got to give that speech. And when I went to his suite yesterday to talk about this in our exclusive interview, he seemed ready for it, but he knows this is a big challenge.
Yeah, what kind of mood was he in when he walked into the interview?
Pretty great, pretty mellow for Donald Trump. You know, I think he's been enjoying this week, but there has been a lot of controversy on this convention floor.
There certainly has, and Tom Llamas has been standing by for all of it. He was there for it last night. Good morning to you, Tom.
Amy, good morning to you. I was right there, just steps from Senator Ted Cruz. When he entered, there was an extended standing ovation. The crowd was loving his speech, every moment of it, until they realized this speech was not about Donald Trump.
Overnight, an incredible moment at the Republican National Convention. Senator Ted Cruz launching a one-man mutiny, not endorsing Trump and getting booed off stage.
And God bless the United States of America.
The problem started when Cruz said this.
Stand and speak and vote your conscience. Vote for candidates up and down the ticket who you trust to defend our freedom and to be faithful to the Constitution.
The New York delegation leading the charge against Cruz with boos and chants of "We want Trump."
I appreciate the enthusiasm of the New York delegation.
The boos then spreading to other states. And as Cruz faced down a tidal wave of hecklers, Donald Trump entering the convention hall. Cruz making a quick exit. This video shows Cruz's wife Heidi in the yellow dress, forced to leave the convention floor as things started to get ugly. The headline this morning, Civil War. Trump supporters like Governor Chris Christie were sickened by the Texas senator's speech.
It was an awful, selfish speech by someone who tonight, through the words he said on that stage, showed everybody why he has richly earned the reputation that he has on Capitol Hill.
Cruz, who we caught up with last night, disagrees.
I feel very encouraged by the very warm reception.
Cruz's day of reckoning at the convention follows a long year where he faced endless taunts from Trump.
You know, I say, he walks in with the Bible held high. He walks in, it's lying Ted, Bible held high, puts it down, and then he starts to lie.
So with all this bad blood, why did the Trump campaign let him take the stage? Trump tweeting? Wow, Ted Cruz got booed off the stage. Didn't honor the pledge. I saw his speech 2 hours early, but let him speak anyway. No big deal. Donald Trump Jr. explaining his dad wasn't going to prevent a fellow Republican from speaking.
You see this room when people like to make the story and create the dialogue about disunity. You know, the best unity I saw was everyone booing him off the stage.
Trump's youngest son, Eric, took his turn on stage last night, delivering an impassioned speech on behalf of his father, despite repeated technical glitches, which left him speaking in front of a dark screen.
Vote for the candidate who can't be bought, sold, purchased, bribed, coerced, intimidated, or steered from the path that is right and just and true. And quite frankly, friends, vote for the one candidate who does not need this job.
The Cruz party foul overshadowing Governor Mike Pence's powerful and endearing speech to the convention.
We have but one choice, and that man is ready. This team is ready. Our party is ready. And when we elect Donald Trump, the 45th President of the United States, together, we will make America great again.
And the night ending on an awkward moment. Watch as Donald Trump tries to give Mike Pence an air kiss.
Those air kisses can always be a little awkward. Let's get back to that Cruz moment. After the convention last night, Hillary Clinton took to Twitter, essentially quoting Cruz's speech, saying, "Vote your conscience." And early this morning, Ted Cruz sending out a note to supporters, a fundraising email. Amy and George.
Already looking ahead to 2020. Okay, let's admit it. Those air kisses are always awkward.
Yes.
We're here with our whole political team. We're going to get to last night and a lot more in just a minute. But right now, let's get to my exclusive interview with Donald Trump. He opened up about that firestorm over Melania's speech, what he needs to do tonight, and how it felt to be put over the top by his kids. Take us back to that moment. All your kids up there putting you over the top.
Congratulations, Dad. We love you.
Were you more proud of them or yourself?
Maybe more proud of them. It was so beautiful to see, and the arena was just unbelievable, the excitement.
How do you keep it going? What's the job you have to do?
Well, I'm talking about trade. I'm talking about law and order. I'm going to be talking about borders. I'll be talking about many different things. Our country has a lot of problems. We're weak in so many different ways, and I think I'll be basically using the same message and giving the same message, George, that I've been talking about for a long time.
But you know, we haven't heard a lot of your big applause lines at this convention so far. Nothing about the ban on Muslim immigration.
There has to be a temporary ban.
Nothing about the border wall paid by Mexico.
Well, we're going to build the wall. We have to. We have to.
Are you going to talk about that tomorrow?
You'll be hearing things tomorrow. Yeah, you'll be hearing a lot of things tomorrow. I mean, I haven't spoken yet, so I can't be talking about it, but just about, yeah, just about.
So you're not, you know, a lot of people here think, oh, you're going to have to evolve as you go into the general election. That's what Newt Gingrich told me. Do you buy that?
Look, I am who I am. I'm a very honest person. I think that my message is a good message. It got me here. We had almost 14 million votes. That's more votes than anybody in the history of the Republican Party. There's something happening, George, and people are tired of what's going on. They're tired. They're sick and tired of what's going on.
You plowed through this primary field. There's no question about that. But what's the unfinished business for the general election? You know, in our poll, it showed 60% still think you're unqualified. How do you bring that number down?
Well, I think I'm very qualified, but don't forget, Hillary is spending hundreds of millions of dollars on ads. You know what I've spent so far? Nothing. Nothing. I saved the money.
Not till after her convention?
Oh, yeah, I don't want to waste money this early. It's like a racehorse. You know, you don't do it like you see the racehorse way back, then all of a sudden, I'm not looking to do anything now. But we're raising a lot of money, $51 million last month, and I put in a lot of money. I'm over $60 million that I've put in. I think I spent $3.8 million last month.
You're going to put more in?
Oh, yeah, sure, I'm going to spend money. I'm going to spend a lot of money. This is an important thing for the country.
How about this speech by Melania?
Thank you.
We learned today that someone who works with you all, Meredith McIver, offered her resignation. Why not accept it? Weren't you angry?
She's been with me a long time. She's a very good person. She came to see me because she hated to see the conflict, and she made a mistake. And, you know, people make mistakes. You've made mistakes. We all make mistakes. And I thought it was terrific the way she came forward and just said, look, it was a mistake that I made. And she thought it was very unfair to Melania. Although, interestingly, the press treated Melania very well because they didn't think it was her.
How's she handling all this?
It is a different world. You know, it's a different world. Who would ever think that to this extent? I mean, you know, no matter where you move, no matter where you breathe, it's like a big deal. but she handles it well. She's a strong woman. She's a good woman. I thought she made an incredible speech. I thought she made a beautiful speech.
She had that haul.
She had that haul, totally had the haul. And now that cloud is lifted off her, which is terrific, because it was very unfair. I think it was very unfair. Although I will say, the media, they did not think she actually had anything to do with it, which is nice.
So you've had some amazing entrances this week. You emerged out of that smoke on Monday night. You had the helicopter today. How do you top it?
Well, you're going to stay tuned. You're going to be there. I mean, you will definitely be there. I'm not looking for entrance, George. I'm looking for really a good grouping of words that's going to talk about our country and the problems that we have. We have deep problems. We have really deep-seated problems. So it's not about the entrance. It's about the words, and it's about getting the words done. And the only way we're going to get that taken care of is we have to, in November, do very well.
I was with you the day you announced, a little more than a year ago. Did you ever believe on that day you'd be standing here right now as the nominee of the Republican Party?
You know, George, this is beyond what I would have even assumed. But people have asked me the question, and I guess the answer has to be yes, or I don't think I would have done it. I mean, I don't play to lose. So I assume I thought somewhere deep down that I was going to do well.
Still thinks he's going to win in November as well. Big night for him tonight. We're going to talk about that and all the drama last night as well with our political team, Donna Brazil, Matthew Dowd, and John Karl. And John, that was just a few hours before Ted Cruz came out there, didn't endorse. You saw the anger on Donald Trump's face when he walked in to that hall last night. He knew exactly what he was doing, but this drama is not what they wanted last night.
Look, it completely overshadows a very strong speech and a unifying speech by Mike Pence. It overshadows a very strong speech by his son, Eric Trump. Donald Trump knew this was going to happen. Ted Cruz spoke to him on Monday and told him he would not be endorsing him. They had the speech at least 2 hours before Cruz took that stage.
So, Matt, is Ted Cruz an outlier, or is the Republican Party that divided?
Well, to me, this was political theater at its finest. It's almost Shakespearean in the course of it. And I think differently. It's like Julius Caesar, but Donald Trump turned it around and sort of, instead of et tu, Brute, it was cry havoc and let slip the dogs of war. Donald Trump has a unified party behind him, and this is his party, and Ted Cruz walked into his party and turned over the chairs.
Unified party?
No, George. First of all, there's a large public park called Freedom Plaza, and last night Donald Trump should have said, Ted, why don't you go to Freedom Plaza and give that speech? This is a battle for the soul of the party, and at a time when Donald Trump needs the party behind him so that he can pivot, the party last night basically is not ready to
We already saw Hillary Clinton taking advantage of that in her tweet of what happened last night with Cruz.
I mean, who knew that Hillary Clinton can tweet at the crack of dawn?
Donald Trump will get a bump from last night's events. Donald Trump will get a bump from last night's
But
events.
we've been replaying the primary here. The convention starts with a fight with John Kasich and ends here with a fight with Ted Cruz. I mean, this has not been a unifying
And a
convention.
vanquished foe is laying on the stage, and that's going to benefit Donald Trump.
In the long term, it may benefit Donald Trump, but when you need the entire Republican Party unified to go into the general election, they're walking out of this convention
90%
tonight
of them are behind him.
Not ready to reach the large audience.
Actually, coming into this week, it's about 82%. You're banking on the fact that he's going to get them coming out of this. But let's talk about what he needs to do tonight, because so far in this convention, we've heard from his kids about him, not from too many. We haven't heard too much about what he's going to do as president. What are the big three things he needs to do in this speech tonight?
Well, the total success of a convention is going to be is bound by tonight. You either rise or fall in a convention based on the speech of the nominee of the party tonight. The pressure's all on Donald Trump in the course of this. I think it's less of a series of specific issues. It's more, can he be the genuine Donald Trump and make a turn to where people start seeing him? Not Republicans. I think that's done. He's moving on. Is to independent voters out of there. Can he begin to bring a message that sees, I see him in the Oval Office?
Question is, John Karl, can he do that and still fire up his base with those signature lines we showed that worked for him in the primary?
Well, Donald Trump knows that this is the most important speech of this convention, the most important speech of the campaign, the most important speech of his political life. And the challenge here is being able to do that. He has been practicing this, George, I am told, for weeks. Donald Trump doesn't do a lot of practicing of anything. He has been working on this, practicing it. He wants America to be able to look up there and envision him as president of the United States.
Stop preaching to the choir, because that's what the Republicans like to do. Start looking at the congregation. If Donald Trump can get away from that teleprompter and finally tell America, here's how we come together, here's how we solve problems. Otherwise, he's not going to be seen as a problem solver. He's going to continue to be seen as somebody who starts problems.
Does he try to appeal to the independents tonight?
He has to. I mean, he has to turn, as Donna says, from the choir to the pews and talk to the real people. He has to turn to independent voters.
Okay, thanks, guys. You'll all be here tonight with us.
All right, and the Democratic Convention, by the way, kicks off on Monday, and Hillary Clinton is expected to announce her running mate any day now. ABC's Cecilia Vega has the latest on all of that in Miami. And Cecilia, we have heard a lot of names mentioned over the past few weeks, but Clinton does appear to be narrowing her list.
Well, it seems like she's narrowing the list, Amy, but I'll tell you, this process has been shrouded in secrecy. Let me tell you what we do know. Hillary Clinton in recent days has met with a number of her top contenders. Sources tell me that recent events here at home and abroad have had her shift her focus a little bit in terms of what she's looking for in a running mate. She's now looking for someone with a significant amount of national security experience. So let's talk about some of these names. Right now, among the possible picks, Labor Secretary Tom Perez, Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack. He is a longtime Clinton friend. But Amy, this morning, the name that seems to be rising to the top of the pack is Virginia Senator Tim Kaine. He is on the Senate Armed Services Committee and Foreign Relations Committee. Amy, he also speaks Spanish. That's a huge plus for Hillary Clinton in terms of that Latino demographic that she wants to win going into November.
All right, Cecilia, what about the timing? When can we expect to hear something from Hillary on this?
Well, we're told that she could appear with whoever her pick ends up being right here in Florida at some point over the next couple of days. This would be a big rally, likely on Friday, maybe Saturday, Amy, right before the Democratic convention for sure.
All right, Cecilia Vega, thank you so much. And now to some breaking news affecting the Summer Olympics. A major setback for Russia in the wake of a widespread doping scandal. Today, the highest appeals court in international sports upheld a decision banning the Russian track and field team from the Rio Games next month. The court ruling that a collective ban is valid. Analysts say today's decision increases the likelihood that the International Olympic Committee will ban all Russian athletes from the Summer Games, and that decision could come Sunday. Russian President Vladimir Putin has warned banning Russia from the Games could split the entire Olympic movement. And, well, this is a turn. Just when you thought the Pokemon Go craze couldn't get any bigger, it did. 9,000 players invaded San Francisco for a Pokemon crawl featuring food and drink specials and dance parties. The organizer had a good tip for players, warning them not to run into trees and parking meters. Always good to remember that. The game continues to raise safety concerns. However, take a look at this in Baltimore. Video from a police body camera shows an SUV crashing into a parked police cruiser. The driver admits he was not paying attention because he was playing Pokemon Go. And look at this. In New Jersey, a woman actually got stuck up in a tree trying to catch a Pokemon. We are not making this up.
You have to be
actually
making this
happened.
up.
I'm not making it up, George.
Okay. I thought it was crazy
George
here
is
in the convention.
speechless.
Okay, let's go back to Ginger in New York. Boy, this heat is something.
George, Amy, perhaps we can stop Pokemon Go with this, because you're not going to want to go outdoors and catch any Pokemon. The heat advisories, this is when it gets to dangerous levels. So the heat warning, anyone that is highlighted in pink from Illinois back to Minnesota, Iowa, it's not just the numbers in the 90s, but it's when you add the dew point in the mid to upper 70s, that humidity level that's going to make it feel like 113 in Des Moines or 115 in Minneapolis, Kansas City 108, and then that heat dome moves east. Here we get it by Saturday afternoon. Your local weather, 30 seconds away. First, the UV index brought to you by Amazon Echo.
I really don't want you to see me like this.
You need some entrance music. Alexa, play Alex Dance Playlist.
Playing Alex playlist.
That's dance music. Alexa, play Pep Rally by Missy Elliott.
Really?
Perfect. I got a little something for you.
It's beautiful. Does this mean I'm gonna be in your next video?
Let me see what you got.
Today will be the coolest day out of the next 7, so going to the City Open, this will be one of the better days. 4 o'clock this afternoon, 90 degrees. So we'll warm through the 80s today, touching that 90-degree mark. You'll notice a touch more humidity in the air, and then a lot of humidity starting on the weekend. Look at this. The weekend into the early part of next week, your heat index temperatures 105 on Monday. It's going to be a real scorcher through the weekend, early part of next week. That heat wave through your Tuesday.
Coming up, major outrage overnight over that police shooting. A behavioral therapist gunned down in the street while caring for his patient. The victim is speaking out this morning.